One question that our agency gets a lot of the time is, how do I hire a 10x developer? And that's a question that I want to answer for you today. Hi folks, my name's Muso. I'm the co-founder of Fabrika, and I help founders and entrepreneurs turn ideas into product. Hiring a 10x developer isn't about hiring the smartest person in the room. Yes, coding is a part of it, but you also need someone who's able to communicate, think, and adapt to the different challenges. So let's look at the specific steps that we take into consideration when it comes to interviewing and hiring the right dev. So the first thing that we would suggest is test for fit and not flash. For us, it doesn't really matter if a developer knows every single framework that has ever existed. We don't care if somebody can regurgitate every single line of C++ they've ever written. We just care if they can deliver in a production code base. Or part of our interview process is to give a developer take-home assignment, which is to build a feature in a production code base. So by asking our developers to build a small feature in a code base that we know very well, we're able to assess their skills fairly easily, and we're able to see if they can execute and deliver on the projects that we build on. You as a startup founder can follow the same principle by asking the developer to create a feature that would integrate into your software. And a way to test that is getting that developer to push that into your sandbox environment or your testing environment and see if that reproduces the results that you were expecting. And that way, you don't need to be technical to understand if it works. The second thing that we look for is attitude over ego. When you are a startup founder, the most important person on your team after yourself, the person generating revenue for the business, is the person that's building the product, which generates the revenue. So having somebody that's able to put their ego aside and help you solve problems becomes immensely valuable as you scale your business. You need somebody that's able to say, I don't know how to do this, but I'll figure it out anytime you guys hit an obstacle, and you will hit a lot of obstacles. So for us, the one thing that we always look for is somebody that's able to throw their hands up when they can't figure out a solution for a problem, ask for help when they need to, and do the research that's required to find solutions. And remember, you can train skill, but you can train humility and follow through. So the third thing that we look for is thought process and not trivial knowledge. The 10x developers that you want to hire are able to articulate their thought process as well as the cost benefits of making a particular decision. As a technical person in your business, you should be responsible for generating revenue for your business, and you should have all the information that you need to generate that revenue. Your technical hire should be the person that provides you all of that ammunition so that you could be most effective in your role. So whether you're trying to weigh up which framework would be better, which AI model to use in your software, or which backend to use, your technical person or your developer should be able to have those answers for you and help you weigh the pros and cons of each potential solution so that you can make the smartest decision for your business. So the fourth thing to think about during your interview process is AI. So AI shouldn't really be considered cheating. If someone brings in a solution that was driven by or informed by AI, we don't actually look at it as a negative. In our workflows, we use AI quite a bit to help us research, to help us come to a solution faster, and to help us do some of the repetitive grunt work that nobody likes doing, honestly. So if your developer is able to leverage AI and come up with a solution during the interview process, we wouldn't think of that as a minus, and we would probably tell you to consider that a plus. The way things are going to, AI models are getting better and better, and if you have a developer that's able to leverage those tools to come up with a solution, that gives more value for your business, so consider that. But the one cautionary note with AI is make sure you're hiring a developer that isn't blindly accepting, tab enter every cursor solution, and is actually able to validate AI's outputs and make sense of the information that comes from these agentic tools. And the last thing that we would look at is over-reliance and depth. A 10x dev should be able to write and reason independently. They should be able to take any problem that you throw at them and find a solution that works within the frameworks that they understand. So you're really getting full stack player as part of your team. 10x devs isn't about speed, it's about solving complex problems and creating solutions that work at scale. So what we look for when we're interviewing is somebody that's able to really take on that challenge, persevere through the challenge, and come with a creative solution, whether they used AI or other resources like Stack Adapt to come to that solution. Remember, when you're hiring a developer, especially as one of your first hires, you're hiring somebody that's a partner, not just somebody that's an employee. So you're really going to be leaning on that person's expertise and experience to help you get to the finish line. So really, my closing thoughts is most developers can code, few can think in systems, and those are the people that you need to get to the finish line. If you enjoyed this, drop us a like. If you enjoy content like this, give us a follow. Thank you so much.